Hello, beautiful teachers. I have some super exciting news to share with you today. Our TONARA import tool for vivid practice is ready! I'm so excited for you to dive into this. So if you were using TONARA previously and you're thinking about using vivid practice, or you're already using it, you can now draw all of your assignments from TONARA straight into vivid practice. It takes about 15 minutes. Maybe it'll take a tiny bit longer if you have an enormous assignment library, but around 15 minutes or even less in some cases. So let me show you how it works. So this is my Vivid Practice account. You just need to go to your assignments, and then you're going to click on Import. There's a little T symbol for TONARA and Import. Of course, we'll get rid of this button once TONARA is closed and there's nothing to import. Then you're going to put in your TONARA login details. And it tells you how it's going to work right there. So you're going to have it all imported into one folder. I'll show you what this looks like now in a second, with T at the end, just so you can tell which came from TONARA, and it means we avoid duplicates with the things that you already have in your account and getting confused of which one is which. So we click Import. It says your data is now importing. Please wait 15 minutes and then refresh the page to see the result. So you can go anywhere you want. This will keep going in the background. You don't have to stay on this page. You can if you want. It's kind of fun to watch. So there's nothing here right now. I'm going to refresh the page. And you'll see it's already started filling up. So it basically goes in alphabetical order. Okay. And it'll keep filling up every time you refresh the page. There'll be a little bit more there. As we said, we estimate about 15 minutes to be complete. If you know you have a really big assignment library, then maybe expect that it'll take a little bit longer sometimes, maybe half an hour. You come back and refresh. You'll be able to tell whether everything is there because it pretty much goes in alphabetical order, as I say. So when it gets to Z, you can pretty much tell that it is done. You see how it's going through the A's and the B's now from my account. Okay, so that's pretty much how it works. Now, I want to note a couple of things right here. So it's all going into the one folder, which is called TONARA, so that it's all coming in. So if you've added other stuff that's in other folders, that's all staying organized, and you have everything from TONARA in one spot. Now, obviously, you may want to move these things to a different folder, and at the moment, that's a little bit cumbersome because you have to do them one by one, okay? Don't worry and don't stress about doing this one by one and spending your whole weekend doing it, please. This week, what we'll do is we're going to move up our timeline on our features for bulk deletion and bulk moving things to different folders. So don't worry about moving anything yet, but you can get started bringing everything in from TONARA, and then it's here and you know it's safe. And it's somewhere that you can rely on it. And you can also use these assignments then just by searching for them with your students. But don't worry about reorganizing things. Don't spend your time doing that. We will have our little selection boxes and the ability to bulk move and bulk delete. It's something we were already working on, but we're just speeding that process along so that you can move your TONARA assignments around once you got them in there. And if you feel like going and deleting the T's, you could do that one by one as you assign things, or you could just leave them there. I mean, they're not getting in students' way. Students are just going to, gloss over that. They'll assume it's something for the teacher. It doesn't really matter. So it is adding in all of your attachments. That's not a good example. Let me see what I have. So this has attachments in it. This one does. So I'm just browsing around my assignments to give you a good example. So this has attachments right here, and you can preview them if you need to check everything's okay. The other thing that's different here from TONARA is the link element. So I think this is a good example of this. Okay, so in TONARA, what this would have looked like right here is that attached link thing that we had in TONARA. But in Vivid, we don't have links as a separate attachment. We just have them in our notes. Like we just have the ability to link things normally like you would in email or anywhere else. So that's what we've done is we've taken the text that you wrote for the link in TONARA. So if you just left it with nothing, it'll just say link. but if you put in text, it will say the text and then it'll be hyperlinked to where you had it linked to, okay? So that it still makes sense for your students. Of course, you can adjust that as much as you want to once they're in here. It will also pick up the book name and the page number. This just happens to be an assignment without either of those. And the categories will be matched as much as possible with our categories versus TONARA's categories. So of course you can adjust these things and fine tune them to the way you want them in Vivid later, but it gives you a great starting point. Now, my next little note is for those who use the school version of TONARA. So that if that is not you, you have all the information you need already. If you do use the school version of TONARA, here is mine. So I had a school account on TONARA, which means I have my repertoire and I have school's repertoire. Okay? And then there's the TONARA examples. What we're doing into Vivid with this tool is importing my repertoire. If you had school repertoire as well, and you want that in your Vivid account, what you'll need to do is just go into your school repertoire in TONARA, and then select the things and copy them to my repertoire. Let me show you how that works in TONARA. So I prefer to do this label by label, just so it stays organized. So let's see, I have one called Book Choices, which is just when I'm having people pick books. So I'd select all of those using the checkbox in TONARA, and then just add to my repertoire. So do this before you import if you have the school repertoire and you want some of those things to carry over to Vivid. If you have some things in TONARA that you don't want to keep, I suggest deleting them now before you import them as well. So tidying it up maybe a little bit before you do the import tool. But just to repeat that, it will only import what's in my repertoire. It will not import school's repertoire. So if you have things in the school repertoire, you will need to go in and add them to my repertoire in TONARA before you use the import tool. So that's pretty much how it works. Let me know if you have any questions about it. I just want to reiterate before you go that everything will come into TONARA, into Vivid Practice in that TONARA folder. So don't panic. Don't think you have to move those items one by one if you want them organized differently. Just leave them there for now, and then this week we will have our bulk moving and bulk deletion tools so that if there's things you want to get rid of or there's things you want to move all to one folder, you can do it just with checking all the boxes and moving them in one go. I hope you love this tool. Let me know what you think and let me know if you have any issues or need any help with it. And yeah, have fun. See you soon.